And so now, you know, with it lingering as much as it is now you're about to start seeing, you know, where the rubber meets the road, because people are going to be affected. And, you know, the every state now is warning their citizens that, you know, food stamps are not going to make it here for Thanksgiving.
Did you guys realize that there's so many people talking about the food stamp cut that's going on, as far as like people not getting their food stamps for the month of November? But what I'm going to say is probably not going to benefit you or change the narrative of what's going on for the month of November. But what I am going to say is that you guys realize that around the first of the month, when the majority of people get their food stamps around the first of the month, but majority, if not all of these grocery stores around the U.S., they depend on those billions of dollars worth of food stamps to come in every single month. They prep for it every month at their grocery store. That's why when you go into a store around the first of the month, you see fresh grapes. Everything looks so fresh and pretty because they know that it's going to leave those shelves quick. You guys realize, even if it's just the month of November and people don't get their food stamps, do you know how bad that's going to hurt the grocery stores? Do you guys realize how bad it's going to hurt the meat producers, the butchers, the farmers, the people who produce the vegetables and everything? So this is way bigger than you guys think. A lot of people is thinking, well, Thanksgiving's going to be bad. It could be bad if people don't get their food stamps because they're dependent on it. But just think about how big of a freaking disaster it's going to be on our economy, man.
So man, I was so glad to find that video, because a lot of times, man, we don't get into the weeds enough to understand not just only how it's going to affect the households of the everyday citizens, but also what it's going to do to the economy. And that in itself is going to affect even more citizens, because you're talking about, you know, when it starts affecting grocery stores, you're talking about jobs, and you're talking about, you know, those that produce these goods that go into the grocery store, such as the meat producers, you know, vegetable producers. And when people lose confidence, this is the key for our economy. The key for whether or not our economy is going to be strong or weak is when people lose faith in the economy.
Because what they don't realize that, you know, holding healthcare as hostage to push an agenda and to say we're not gonna feed you if you won't let us take your health care.
That's diabolical, man.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.